I found this satanic panic video of a call-in show with a Satanist and a priest who believes that this Satanist is like calling Satan and stuff. He calls himself a cult expert. Oh my God, dude. I want to listen to this, see what they have to say. By the way, I covered this whole thing on my Unfiltered channel. I'm pulling clips out because I think it's hilarious. Listen to this. By the way, link in the description for my Unfiltered channel if you want. Owen Morgan Unfiltered.
Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm an ex-satanist and cultist.
I bet. I believe him.
Yeah, hold on. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm an ex-satanist and cultist, and cultist, and I would like to make some comments. First off, I'm the I'm the area authority in this. I work with the police and the Warnicki Ministries.
He's an area authority on this. The reason they're calling in the first place because this woman, second from the right, claimed to have been a victim of satanic ritual abuse or some nonsense. Says that her whole family is involved in Satanism and they have performed rituals with her where they sacrifice humans and stuff. I mean, it is out of this world insane. So this caller, this Satanist here debunks it, says, where's the proof? Do you have literally anything? You need to call the police if this is real. Your police will investigate, and if it turns something up, then there'll be charges filed. Wouldn't you know it? Charges are never filed. This stuff never comes to fruition because it's BS. It was BS in 1988 when this clip is from, and it's BS today.
Police and the Warnicki Ministries and other folks. And to say that the cultists or the satanic cultists don't abuse children is incorrect. About approximately 1 month ago, I had a call from a group that was sacrificing their own children.
Why would a group that sacrifices their own children give this expert, quote unquote, a call? What?
And one of the ladies wanted to come out of this particular group, and she had stated living in the community of believers, they would have their own children and they would sacrifice their own children.
This is so insane. Out of this world insane. And nobody in their right mind believes this today. But in 1988, when this came out, they did. This is like the trans panic stuff right now. 1-to-1 comparison, basically. Like the claim that there is a kid somewhere in a school system somewhere that identifies as a cat, and this supposed school has installed a litter box for them to use. It's made up, just like this stuff is made up. I mean, look, there's a whole psychology behind moral panics like this. And I'm reading a book about it right now by, I think, a guy named Stanley Cohen. It just got fire on the front. I remember. I don't remember the name of it, though. It's, hold on. Where is it? It's Stanley Cohen, Folk Devils and Moral Panics, the Creation of the Mods and Rockers. Interesting. Anyway, moral panics come in phases and eventually fade into the background as collective cultural lore. It's really fascinating stuff. I'll talk more about it when I kind of get further in the book.
And they also have with their children. It even goes as far as putting their children in caskets with dead bodies and lowering them into the ground. And
brother, get help. I just got a new sound effect on my soundboard.
Stop it. Get some help.
Seriously, get help. This is not true. None of this is true. And a massive number of people fell for it.
Covering them over with dirt. Also, parents will take ritual knives and teach their children how to stab dead bodies correctly.
No.
As they do in the sacrifices that are performed.
No.
What did you witness yourself with your own eyes?
Literally nothing.
Well, I've seen a great deal of dynamic activity.
Dynamic. Wow. Dynamic. Okay. Well, I haven't seen any dynamic activity. Maybe that's a problem. I've been watching demonic activity, not dynamic. See, if I were watching dynamic activity, maybe I'd be a Satanist cult expert too, like this guy.
Myself, only animal sacrifice, never human. But I work with people who have actually done the human sacrifice.
No.
End of it. You see that the reason why they do the human sacrifice or the animal sacrifice is to gain power from the devil. This man's
look at this guy. He's shaking his head like, this is so bullshit. This is not how it works. By the way, we looked into this on stream, and I guess this guy is from a group called something like the Satanic Liberation. I don't remember. Anyway, it's like an offshoot of the Church of Satan, and it operates effectively like the Satanic Temple. Non-theistic. They don't believe in God or Satan. They just respect Satan in the Bible as a literary character. For example, Satan didn't tell a single lie ever in the Bible. No lies. But God told a bunch. That's kind of interesting, right? Respecting the literary character of Satan is kind of respecting him as like an underdog, a fighter, fighting against authoritarian control, that kind of deal. That's what this guy is about. And he came on this show, this call-in show, to debunk the complete nonsense coming out of these people's mouths, like this satanic cult expert. Oh my God.
Misrepresenting the mainline satanic cult, which is mainly called the Brotherhood, and they believe in
the f*** is he talking about?
Total human sacrifice, because that's the only way they can gain power.
Go ahead, answer. Hold it.
I want proof. Once again, I want proof of everything that you're saying.
Yes, literally anything. I will take anything.
It's nice to say that you know all these people who kill people and stuff, but I want proof. It's easy to sit there and say, well, I've seen this. And you mentioned you've witnessed demonic activity. Did you see a demon? You've got to learn to get your adjectives straight. It's been going on for years.
Yeah, and also, try pronouncing it correctly at least. I'm unfamiliar with this dynamic thing, these denims, or whatever the hell he calls them.
I want proof. If this is going on, you've got to stop the people. You don't call up talk shows and mention it. You go to the police.
Thank you.
That's what the police are for. I've consulted with police many times myself. I've opened my doors to them. They know what I am. They know what I represent.
You haven't opened your doors so they could attend one of your services, though.
Dude, are you f***ing me right now?
They haven't asked.
Like, he would cooperate, I assume, with the police completely. I certainly would. Whatever the police need to see to prove that I'm not a Satan-worshipping blah, blah, blah. Or let me rephrase, to prove I'm not a Satan-worshipping, human-sacrificing blah, blah, blah.
The thing is I'm the one they call a lot of times to investigate.
I bet. Absolutely.
To explain the different types of areas that they run into, like if it's a ritual sacrifice, or if a person's got books, or if there's a possible homicide that's not a suicide or whatever.
Oh my God, dude.
But the point is it's proven, and there are...
But yeah, that's the thing. It's not. It's not proven. It was not proven in 1988. It's not proven today. You're full of
whatever. But the point is it's proven, and there are now police agencies that only investigate cult-related activities such as murders, abductions, and so forth.
It's just completely full of doesn't have any idea how the police system works.
And even in Maryland, since 1981, the satanic, I guess you'd call cult activity is up over 600%.
Satanic cult activity. And what does that entail exactly, I wonder? What does he think that includes? What's under that umbrella? Like, literally any murders? All murders are counted as satanic cult activity, right, in your mind?
The thing about it is this is whitewashing it. They always want proof. They always want so on and so forth. You can check.
They always want proof.
Your police blotters, and you can find where police have unsolved crimes that have satanic origins.
No, you can, at best at that time, you could find examples of police officers getting caught up in the satanic panic and claiming somebody who, like, killed their ex-husband because he was a cheater, claiming that it was some ridiculous ritual sacrifice or some other nonsense. That's the best that you could find, because nobody is doing that in real life.
And,
but why is it satanic?
Yeah, what's satanic about it?
In Frostburg, where a ritual was performed, they found the person, and approximately a year later, the ritual was mocked again, and the police have still never come up with anything on that.
I want to thank you.
Dude, I have no idea what he's talking about now.
They've still never come up with anything on that.
I want to thank you for your contributions to the show, and we'll let you respond and talk to some members in the audience right after this.
Would you be surprised to find out they didn't let him respond to it? You know what happened next on the show? I'll show you what happened next. They zipped right to audience questions, and he didn't get to say a word to this ridiculous cult expert we have here calling in on this talk show. Oh my God, bro. You can claim to be anything, I've come to find. You know, I read this book by Ray Comfort. It was basically, it was on religion during World War II. Like, was Hitler an atheist or what? Ray Comfort threw his hat in the ring, if you will. And he got like a bunch of stuff wrong, just little things wrong. And that just drives me nuts. Like, how can somebody release a book like that full of lies and incorrect information, misinterpretations, and all that? It's just wild. Like, does he not have a fact checker? Is there nobody watching over what this guy writes? Nobody? Anyway, listen to the next section here.
You're not going to get me to believe that this kid who, gentleman you're talking about, I believe was in New Jersey, stabbed his mother, then killed himself.
Oh, yeah, this is the case you were talking about. Some random case of a kid going nuts.
Actually had Satan come to him through the headphones of his Walkman and say, kill your mother. The kid was a lunatic. You know, simple as that.
I think I have to object there because I happened to investigate that.
Oh, he investigated. Totally. Yeah, he's the investigator, I bet. This Catholic priest over here. Checking out little boys. That doesn't surprise me for some reason.
The boy was a very good, honest student. He was a very proper student up until about 6 or 7 weeks before the event.
Yeah, so in a second, you're going to find out that he doesn't know literally anything about the kid, about his life before the event, or he's completely making this part up. He'll show you in a second. Keep listening here.
He was a very proper student up until about 6 or 7 weeks before the event happened. And then something got him going. Part of it was the heavy metal rock music.
Heavy metal rock music made him murder his mom. Bro!
Stop it. Get some help.
Metal rock music with satanic lyrics. A lot of it was an interest. We don't know whether he was psychotic. We don't know whether...
Really? You don't? No? You don't know anything about this kid is what you're telling me right now? You have no idea? So you're just superimposing your beliefs about him onto him? You are superimposing your ideas about satanic worship and all this other crazy onto this kid? Knock me over with a feather.
We don't know whether he was psychotic. We don't know whether he was a basket case or what happened to him.
Then why are you making claims about it?
But I think the important, an important thing here is not to just presume because they don't agree with what you seem to think, and automatically they're erroneous.
Okay, that's not what's happening. You're making a positive claim that this is what happened. This kid heard the voice of Satan through his headphones and murdered his mom because of it. And he says, well, you can't prove it's not true. If this isn't like a quintessential example of what a logical fallacy is, I don't know what would be. Really.
Stop it. Get some help.
Now, check this one out. This is just a couple minutes later here.
You say to be a Satanist means to follow one's natural instincts, to gratify every physical, emotional, and mental and sexual desire one has.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they didn't give him enough opportunity to speak, in my opinion. They just kept bombarding him with BS like that Catholic priest and then jumping over to a new question.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean?
Well, I think it's self-explanatory. There's nothing wrong with being sexual.
Absolutely.
I see nothing wrong with premarital sex. I see nothing wrong with having a plethora of lovers if you want. I'm not homosexual, but, I see nothing wrong with homosexuality.
This is super progressive at the time. Oh my God, this crazy progressive, especially because there was also, in addition to the satanic panic, there was a gay panic, basically, an AIDS panic. The far right was all freaked out that gay people were going to give them AIDS. You know how freaked out the far right was at the time? They were so freaked out, they were willing to do this. Moral Majority Report, AIDS. A family, a baby, a little kid, a mom, and a dad wearing masks. Isn't that interesting? Wearing masks. So they will wear masks, as it turns out. They're willing to wear masks. How about that? Homosexual diseases threaten American families. It's low. These people are so low. Princess Diana did a lot for the gay community by shaking an AIDS patient's hand, showing that you couldn't catch it by skin-to-skin contact. I mean, it was real bad. And it was a full-blown genocide. Reagan allowed this to happen. He didn't put any money into trying to solve the AIDS problem or anything because he heard that it was affecting the gay community. He's like, okay, whatever, I don't care. Let it happen. So being gay was frowned upon heavily at the time. And we got a Satanist on here saying, it's fine to be gay. That is a big deal, actually.
I see nothing wrong with having a plethora of lovers if you want. I'm not homosexual, but, I see nothing wrong with homosexuality. It's a human desire, something that's, of course, alien to me, but it happens. I don't believe in loose sex. I believe in free sex with, common sense.
I.e., don't do risky things, but you should be able to feel free to live your life and enjoy it, seems to me. That's the difference, right? How would that protect you from AIDS? The answer is, it wouldn't. They didn't care, though. They cared about propagandizing, lying, freaking people out, spreading the moral panic even further, as far as they can.
Sex with, common sense.
Have you fathered more than 30 children?
I have 33.
Holy Christ on a cracker, bro. 33 children. Dude has 33 kids. You got a Duggar dude over here. Oh, my God.
All right. You have fathered 33 children?
Yes.
You provide for them?
Yes, I do.
How do you do that?
Well, I'm certainly not a poor individual, and
what does that mean? I don't understand.
Well, I'm pretty well-to-do financially.
What the f*** do you think that means? It means he has a lot of money.
And the women that have born my children are very well-to-do themselves. We're talking doctors, lawyers. One is a professor of psychology at a state university.
That's cool.
These are not welfare mothers. These are successes. That's why they're Satanists, and they're all members of my church.
How many children have you fathered with?
Okay, so he says that they're Satanists, and there's like a causal link between being rich and a Satanist. Whatever.
How many children have you fathered with someone other than your wife since you've been married?
I have no children by my wife.
So,
since I've been married, none. We've only been married 6 months.
How many people have you had sex with other than your wife since you've been married?
None. I'm very monogamous with my wife. There is that responsibility. There are priorities.
But you've had 33 kids on the way up.
Well, I mean, you see in her face, look at her face. She's just disgusted by this, that somebody could live their life and do their thing. There's another clip that I'm going to hit in another video. Let me just play the very beginning of the clip, just so you have an idea of what I'm talking about here. This is a police training video to train cops to identify Satanism.
An area that has been taboo for so many years, that is also protected by the United States Constitution.
Talking about Satanism is protected by the Constitution.
And the freedom of religion. That's why it's very difficult for us as law enforcement officers to really investigate. But the question really is, where do the freedoms end and our responsibilities begin for our communities?
Yeah, so they're ready to jump in with both feet and destroy other people's religious freedom, is what he's saying, right? They don't care about religious freedom. They care about religious supremacy, their religious supremacy. Don't get it twisted. Just for the record, I've been writing about World War II a lot, and the religion, Was Hitler an Atheist? Is this book that I wrote. Check it out, Amazon and Audible. Pretty interesting stuff. There was a Nazified version of Christianity. They twisted Christianity into something that was Aryan in nature. It was still Christianity, obviously, but it was very Aryan, white-centric, and they came up with a name for this denomination. It was Lutheran with Nazi values. You want to know what it's called? The Christian Nationalists. Actually, it was the Protestant Nationalists, but they excluded Catholicism. That's why it's Protestant Nationalists instead of Christian Nationalists. Eventually, Hitler 86'd the name and said, we're going with German Christians instead because I want to create a supra-confessional church where everybody in Germany is under the umbrella of the Nazified Christianity, including Catholics. So he named them German Christians, basically, instead of Christian nationalists or Protestant nationalists. The point is, that's exactly what these people are. They're Christian nationalists, all the way back in 1988.
I'm very monogamous with my wife. There is that responsibility. There are priorities.
See her rolling her eyes.
You've had 33 kids on the way up. That's busy man. Yes, sir.
I'd just like to ask one question, and that's this. For something that's so powerful, why is the need for secrecy? I've never known power to confine itself to secrecy.
You haven't? Really? You haven't? Is he for real? Power has always been about secrecy. You think that the most powerful, like, billionaires in the country are going out there and broadcasting all the money that they're putting into various causes? It's called dark money, bro, because nobody knows exactly where it's coming from. Power and secrecy go hand in hand. Is he for real with this?
It's very openness.
Well, first of all, it's, you know, there are no levels in my church. Basically, it's an occult think tank, a satanic think tank, if you wish.
I'm not exactly sure what he means by occult here. Like, people have the kind of their own meanings to this word. But anyway, I jumped forward a little bit.
I still wonder how well-to-do you have to be, thanks, to support 33 children.
Well, it's none of your f***ing business.
Well, I don't do it all, you know.
And don't you think bringing 33 kids into this world was irresponsible?
No, because one, all these women wanted to have a child of mine. I believe that immortality is through one's children. I don't believe in the Christian concept of life after death.
Bro, I wonder if he would say the same thing about the Duggars today. 22 kids or something? Didn't they get 22 kids? Would he say that's irresponsible of them? No. He'd be clapping for him. He'd say, go, do it. You're fantastic. I love it. It's only because it's a Satanist.
So you were talking about egos. Is your ego that big that you want?
Oh, it has to be about ego? Boy, just wait till this guy finds out about the Duggars. I wonder if he's still around. I mean, 1988, how old is he? He's got to be like 65 maybe? 60, 65? I could see him even being 55, this guy. Depends on how long it took him to go gray. Nah, he's probably not around anymore. I'm not sure who it is.
At least 33.
I'll have 100 if I can.
Sir?
I'll have 100 if I can. You know, I would never have a child that could not be taken care of. You know, that's just not my style. These are all children that are taken care of.
I interject here just a moment.
Who asked you? This is a conversation between adults about children. We don't need a priest coming in to give us his thoughts on children. Thanks anyway.
I think this is another example of making one's own rules.
Yeah, no because we're in the United States of America. We're in the land of the I make my own rules. Is this the first time you're hearing this? Like, how old is this guy? He's got to be what? Has he got 60, 70, this priest? And this is the first time he's ever heard that people can make their own rules in the United States? Talk about sheltered.
Most everybody in society sees that as a bit bizarre. But I would like to clarify just one point that would help us understand a bit what's going on here.
People in society think it's bizarre that people can make their own rules. Okay, go on. You got my attention.
Clarify just one point that would help us understand a bit what's going on here. We actually have 3 different kinds of satanic activity.
Oh my God, he's going to come in with his supposed cult expertise. All right, lay it on me. 3 types.
And the ones that the gentleman over here is talking about would be the church's kind. Church of Satan, Church of Worldwide Church and such, who may very well do no sacrifices whatsoever. There are young people who dabble in it, who find the fascination with the devil, be it the Christian devil or the imaginary devil. And then you have the real cultists, like the Brotherhood, like the Process Church, who feel that crime is the way to find the answer.
Okay, interesting. So he's saying he believes that there are just kids that are messing around and listening to Black Sabbath, for example. And then there are like people from the Satanic Temple or, well, I don't think they existed at the time, from the Church of Satan or the Satanic Liberation, whatever the hell this guy's group is called. It was disbanded in 2012, I believe. And then you have like full-blown murdering nutcases. And I guess he's saying that he believes that the full-blown murdering nutcases make up the majority of the country, of Satanists in general, whoever the hell the Brotherhood is supposed to be. I mean, there are nutcases in every single demographic, but let me lay this down for you. I believe in the 90s, there was this trend of putting bombs in mailboxes, blowing these mailboxes up. And it was, of course, very dangerous. Somebody reach in there and blow their hand off or something. But these bombs were usually just like placed in the mailbox and then detonated immediately. They're just little things that kind of make a huge mess out of stuff. People have to get a new mailbox, freaks them out. Just a bunch of idiots doing stupid stuff. And as the news reported on it, it got bigger and bigger and bigger and more serious until all of the news stations, the media, the newspapers, everybody, they all agreed, we're not going to talk about this anymore. And they just shut their mouths about it. Nobody reported on any more bombs. The police dealt with it where it happened, and that was it. And guess what? No more mailbox bombs, just like that, because people were talking about it previously. It was in the public awareness. When no one is like paying any attention to that, no one is even thinking about it, no one is doing it. No one is living in fear that it could happen. The satanic panic was completely out of control at this time. We got priests like this poor fool right here claiming that there are Satanists around every corner that are like abducting kids and sacrificing them. And he's finding ghosts around every corner because he won't stop talking about them. Sure, I suppose you take me this far. There were probably people in the 80s that wanted to f with this dude right here and started like drawing pentagrams on things just to really mess with him, mess with his head. No one was sacrificing people. No one. There was a group called the Order of Nine Angles. They may still exist, I'm not sure, but this was a Satanist group, and they were violent extremists that actually did believe in human sacrifice. I think there were like 30 of them. It was a super small number. And I think they started in the UK and then moved to the US. I don't remember. You're going to have to look into it. But to get around murder laws, a lot of the time they would join the military or the police force. And when somebody dies, they would pray over them to Satan and, you know, dedicate this death to blah, 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 whatever. That was almost nobody. That is almost nobody to this day. It's like a freak phenomenon. If this guy is implying that the Church of Satan and kids dabbling with Satanism by listening to Black Sabbath are the minority, and the Brotherhood, whatever that is gigantic. It's everywhere. It's around every corner. They're drawing pictures in parks and everything. Go looking for ghosts and you will find one.
Talking about three different things here.
We have a young lady here who is with you, and what did you just tell me?
Well, I'm a very close friend of Paul's. I'm also a member of his church, and I am carrying his child. And I
34.
Yes, and
Okay, I thought he asked her age. He said number 34, the 34th kid. Yeah.
just like
You his wife?
no, I'm not.
Okay, I thought that.
The contradiction
I met her.
right there.
No, I met her long before I married my wife.
All right, how pregnant? I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you have.
Yeah, none of your fucking business is the answer. But the impression that I'm getting is, I mean, he knew she was in the audience, right? And knew that she's going to speak here. So he's not like trying to hide something. But he got married to his wife 6 months ago. Wait, this backfired, didn't it? There was like an explosion in the 90s into witchcraft. I'm not sure what you mean exactly. But yeah, there was a lot of like witchcraft and stuff, supposed witchcraft claims. Of course, you got to remember that, you know, people believe that Dungeons and Dragons and Pokemon were evil. You know that whole story about Pokemon, like the lights flashing that caused seizures and stuff? Do you know how many kids were sent to the hospital with seizures because of the flashing lights with Pokemon and all that? 2. 2 children were sent to the hospital with this because they had epilepsy, and undiagnosed epilepsy, basically, as far as anyone can tell. And it spun up into this gigantic cultural phenomenon because they believed that Pokemon was evil and it was causing all these problems for people and all this other crazy stuff, bro. And then the news played it again, like unedited footage. Genius move, by the way. And suddenly, while they're talking about it on this news thing, you know, they're saying a bunch of kids went to the hospital, even though that didn't happen. A whole bunch more kids suddenly start manifesting symptoms of epilepsy out of nowhere, you know, because they played that clip. Psychosomatic type of deal. So anyway, all right, let's continue here.
You have his child. Why?
Why? Because I wanted to have his child.
Why?
Like, is it any of your business? Because I want to have a kid. We can go in this circle as long as you want. I want to have a kid.
Because, you know, I'm a very good friend of the man. I know him very...
I have lots of good friends. I mean...
Well, maybe you're missing out then. You ever consider that one? Maybe you should be getting pregnant by your friends. She's got the right idea over here.
I'm just curious.
I
Yes.
mean, it's a bizarre question to ask. I mean, why would anyone want to have a child with anyone? Obviously, it's very personal reasons between the two of us.
But he has 33 other children that you're aware of.
Yes.
So?
That's why it's not bizarre. I mean...
No, it's bizarre. It's a bizarre question. And people like laughing at him because he's... I mean, I assume they're laughing at him, right?
Help me answer the question then.
No, we obviously love each other. She is. We obviously love each other dearly, and she wanted a child. She's able to take care of it herself, even if I were to die tomorrow and leave her nothing, which would not happen. But and she wanted to have a child at a young age. She didn't want to wait until she was 30 for her first child.
Are you well-to-do?
Yes.
How well-to-do are you?
Again, is this any of his business? They are really invasive.
I make enough so I don't have
to work. Are you a millionaire?
Oh, no, but I'll get there sooner or later. I'm a Satanist.
He shouldn't be feeding into this idea. Maybe he really believes it, that Satanists will be rich because they manifest whatever.
Be back in a moment.
Anyway, dude, that's just wild, man. Oh, we got another priest in the audience. He's going to lay down his take on this whole thing about little boys dabbling in Satanism. Lay it on me, priest. Tell me about little boys.
Comments, sir?
It sounds like to me that the way to foster Satan worship is the fostering of offspring of Satan.
How did I know he's going to talk about kids? That is weird, huh?
Satan worship is the fostering of offspring of Satan. And to me it seems very simple. Satan made me do it.
We don't worship Satan.
But nonetheless,
yeah, okay, you just disproved my whole premise here, but whatever. You know, I'm just going to continue on as though you didn't. What a joke, dude. Take that collar off.
But nonetheless, that's how I would perceive it. And also, the point is, Satan is a master of deception. And that's what we always need to keep in mind. We never know the truth.
All right, you want to...
Again, Satan never told a single lie anywhere in the Bible, ever. God told lots. Also, one more thing I want to mention here. Look at this dude's glasses. Those are incredible glasses. I love everything about these things, and I want a pair immediately.
It's what we always need to keep in mind. We never know the truth.
All right, you want to make a final comment? We're almost out of time.
It's just that they will never tell the truth. They have to be exposed. They have to be found out. And I think as long as we keep talking about it, people keep coming out and standing up and not fearing them and telling what's going on, that eventually with the exposure, you know.
Yeah, I guess it fades out there anyway. I love it that they gave her the last word and the first word, as a matter of fact. And they didn't let the Satanist, explain anything. They didn't give him a chance to kind of go into depth and all this stuff or whatever. They just kept cutting him off. They let cult experts on the phone to talk trash to him and claim he's lying and then cut it off right there. I mean, it's ridiculous. This is a one-to-one comparison to the trans panic today. Compare the two and see how these panics align. See the similarities between them. It's just wild to me. Tell me what you think in the comments.